thing that she was gonna do. I think she was planning on this for, like, since she was really little. And so I'm gonna ask her to come up. So this is Bethany Roy. She was the new teacher of the year for Hayden Lawrence last year. And then, for those new teachers who don't know this yet, we have a contest in our district. So someone, maybe someone in this room, will be named the district new teacher of the year in November, December-ish. And so Bethany was the elementary new teacher of the year for the district. So she's going to talk to you about her journey through her first year as a new teacher.
Thank you. Good morning. Before I start, I just wanted to say that I would not be here without the encouragement of my dad. So thank you.
Who is here?
Who is here? He's right over here. It honestly feels surreal to be standing up here because just 1 year ago, I was sitting exactly where you are. I remember being so excited to decorate my classroom, meet my students for the first time, and finally become a teacher. Looking back now, I can't believe how much has happened in 1 year. I'm so excited for each of you because you're about to begin one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. At first, it's probably going to feel overwhelming, and that's okay. You're going to grow so much this year. I remember thinking around the middle of the year, I feel bad for my students because they had a completely different teacher back in August. Then I realized that wasn't a bad thing at all. It meant that I was learning. I was improving every single day, and my students were growing right alongside me. One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is to build relationships with the people you work with. There will be so many things you don't know how to do, and that's completely normal. Ask questions and lean on the people around you. For me, that person was the teacher next door, Jordan Freeman. She answered every question I had, no matter how big or small. It's crazy to think that I met her around this time last year, and now she's one of my bridesmaids. Teaching is hard, but the people you work with can make a difference. And don't be afraid to build relationships beyond your own school. Through student teaching and professional development, I met incredible teachers from Tioga, Nachman, Paradise, and other schools across our district. They answered questions, shared ideas, and reminded me that we're all figuring it out together. Having that support system made such a difference during my first year. Another thing that surprised me was how often I was observed. The first time one of my administrators walked into my classroom, I was nervous, like any first-year teacher would be, and she left me a note. Of course, I was anxious to read it, but it was a note of praise. That note, along with others, is still hanging on my wall today, because it reminded me of how much encouragement matters. It reinforced something I already knew but hadn't experienced from a teacher's perspective. That positive feedback goes a long way. If one note meant that much to me as an adult, imagine how much our words mean to our students. At first, observations can feel intimidating, but I learned something really important. Your administrators can't help you grow if they never see you teach. They can't celebrate what's going well or give you ideas to improve if they aren't in your classroom. Flexibility is another skill you'll learn quickly. Sometimes the copier won't work. Sometimes specials get canceled and suddenly you have your class for another 45 minutes. Your technology won't always cooperate. Lessons won't always go the way you planned. That's teaching. One thing I wish someone would have reminded me of, especially at the beginning of the year, is this: don't forget to have a life outside of school. I learned that when I spent all of my time at home stressing about teaching, I enjoyed teaching less. But when I made time to spend time with my family and friends and do the things I love outside of school, I showed up as a better teacher for my students. Now I have one funny piece of advice that I wish someone would If you happen to win New Teacher of the Year, you'll most likely have to give a speech if you win for the district. I didn't know that. I won, started walking off stage, and then found out I needed to speak. So maybe prepare a speech just in case. I came prepared this time. Some of my favorite memories were during a lesson. They were the little moments in between. It was surprising my students by bringing my puppy to school one day and seeing how excited they were. It was decorating our pond with my co-teachers and surprising them with a Starbucks day, where they got chocolate mocha, strawberry lemonade, and Starbucks cup. We didn't actually get them coffee, don't worry. It was celebrating birthdays together and having students choose to use their lunch with a teacher reward just so they can spend time with me. Those are the moments where you really get to know your students and they get to know you. Something I didn't fully understand before becoming a teacher was just how much students care about you. Towards the end of the year last year, I was in a car accident and I had to miss a few days of school. When I came back, my students had made me cards and were asking if I was okay. They noticed when I wasn't there. I was blessed to have such an incredible group of students. They celebrated my wins even more than I did. They were so proud of me, and seeing how excited they were made that moment even more special. They knew my coffee order, my favorite color, and remembered my birthday. If I told them I was going on a trip over the weekend, they would ask me on Monday how it went. Those are things I never expected from 9 and 10-year-olds, but they made all the difference. Their kindness reminded me why I chose this profession. It gave me the motivation to push through the hard days, and it made me want to come to school every single day and be the best teacher I could be for them. You spend every day learning about your students, but they're learning about you too. They want you to know them, and it's truly a privilege that you get to. You only have them from August until May, and as ready as I was for summer, I would have loved to teach that same group all over again. One thing I've learned is that before students can learn from you, they have to know that you care about them. Yes, content matters, but teaching them how to be kind, respectful, responsible, and confident matters just as much. Those are the lessons they'll carry with them long after they leave our classrooms. As a social studies teacher, there were times when I felt like my content wasn't viewed as important or math and ELA. If you're teaching science, social studies, or extracurricular this year, I just want to encourage you. What you teach matters. Your students may not remember every senior, but they'll remember your class. The excitement you brought to learning and the way you made them feel. Every subject has value, and every teacher has the opportunity to make a difference. Another thing I learned this year was to not take feedback personally. It can be hard, but every suggestion is an opportunity to grow. Some of my best lessons came from ideas shared during planning meetings or observations. I learned to reflect on what went well, what could be better, and then try again the next day. And finally, my last piece of advice is this. Don't compare yourself to the teachers down the hall. Some of them have been teaching for 10, 20, or 30 years. You're not supposed to have everything figured out just yet. Focus on becoming a better teacher than you were yesterday, not someone else. Everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to. Trust the process, ask for help, be flexible, build relationships, and love your students well. One day, you'll look back, just like I am today, and realize how much you've grown. Congratulations on beginning this journey. I can't wait to see the